I just dropped all my books. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing oh my god the Throne of Glass series. This is ridiculously heavy. Okay, that's good enough. This is the Throne of Glass series. It is an 8-book series, and it is absolutely amazing. Warnings about this video. If you have not read this series, I would highly recommend clicking off. Please don't go far. Please go watch some other videos that I have made. I promise they're a lot of fun. Go find a different video to watch. Maybe hit that subscribe button if you're feeling up to it. And enjoy the channel, but not this video. If you have read Throne of Glass, this is the video for you because I am ready for my completely unhinged review of the series. I will be discussing this bad boy here. This is Kingdom of Ash. I just finished this last week, a couple days ago, one of the two, and this 1,000-page beast, incredible, amazing, perfect. I have no words. I gave it 5 stars, and there are just some things that I need to talk about. Now, the series as a whole, I would say this series is 5 stars. I did not rate all the books 5 stars. They ranged between 3 and 5. Assassin's Blade, I gave 5 stars. I adored this book. Getting to see more of Celaena's background and meet these amazing characters that I expected to stay side characters. Like, the fact that we got a return of so many of these characters later on, I completely did not see coming, and it was amazing. When Elaine was discussing how she was calling for help, I at no instance thought that she was calling for these characters. And oh my god, Yrene Towers Westfall? Are you kidding me? The fact that she literally saved the day, and if it wasn't for Celaena to just pull her out of that dark spot to teach her self-defense, the fact that Yrene Towers Westfall went to the healer college and just spent all her time teaching self-defense to every woman that she met because of Elaine, because of Celaena. This is absolutely amazing. The full circle moment in this book is unbelievable, and I truly just could not believe what I was reading. Throne of Glass, I rated 4.25 stars. Now this book, I read this book first. I read Assassin's Blade fourth. Yes, I read right? Yes, I read Assassin's Blade after Heir of Fire, which I personally really liked because I got to see Celaena in her current moment and go through the King's Championship and all of that stuff, and then get her backstory and really then get to see this character. I got to understand her first and then just like double down on that understanding because then I saw her backstory. But I got to fall in love with the current version of her first without kind of like, I don't know if sympathy is the right word, or I feel like you get a different perspective of her in Assassin's Blade, and I think that seeing her as she currently is and then seeing what led to her really added to the story, for me at least. I understand that people have a lot of, each person who reads it enjoys it the way that they read it, right? So that's just my experience and how I would recommend someone to read the books. But Throne of Glass is I read this book twice. I read this book first a year before rereading it. And I was okay about it. I think I gave it 3 stars the first time. 3 or 4 stars. And then I reread it. I suddenly, like, one day couldn't stop thinking about the story. I wasn't like so crazy about it. I was a little confused about certain parts. But suddenly then I couldn't stop thinking about the plot of this, and I just wanted more. So I reread this, and this started my spiral into this series where I just read the first 7 books so quickly. In I think 2 or 3 months, I read all 7 books. So absolutely adore this series. It's just going to be like a common theme amongst this video. Next, Crown of Midnight. This I gave 4.5 stars, and honestly, I think I need to reread. Oh, okay. This is the first part of her becoming King's Championship. We're learning a bit more. We're developing the story a bit more. I really enjoyed this book. Enjoyed it more than Throne of Glass, apparently. Interesting. And yeah, I don't really have too many thoughts on this book. I obviously really enjoyed it. Gave it 4.5 stars. I think it added a lot and really just led us into this new idea, gave us more Rifthold as a whole rather than just like focusing on the castle and Adarlan. Really, really, really just enjoyed this book. Okay. So, looking at what Air Fire is, I apologize. I read Assassin's Blade as book number 3. This is book number 3, so I read it Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and then Assassin's Blade, and then Air of Fire. So at the end of Crown of Midnight, we learn the identity of Celaena. And here is where I think it's really good to then go back and see how she developed as Celaena. So, Air of Fire is when we get to meet Rowan. Love him. We get to see her being pulled out of darkness, and we get to see them pulling each other out of darkness, and it truly is so beautiful and so rewarding. And I think it really just shows, I mean, we know that eventually they learn that they are mates, but I think this like development of them pulling each other out of darkness and being there for each other even without that knowledge really is just so important and so validating. And I think that this book was really, really well done. I gave 4.5 stars, and truly, I loved it. I love Rowan. I love Elaine and rowing together, and I love seeing Elaine learn to love her fire. That she has this amazing power, but she was so afraid to use it, and I think that is so telling, and I think it could be applied to so many things about just so many people. So, yes. Next, Queen of Shadows. This is amazing. First of all, this scene. Oh my god, okay. I get one scene to show up on my TikTok all the time because I commented on it, and people still, months and months and months later, like this comment, and then I get to watch the reel again. And it is the moment that Elaine and Rowan reunite in Rifthold. Perfection. I love this book. I gave it 4.75 stars. Damn, I was harsh with this series. The only 5 stars we've had so far is Assassin's Blade. I was in a tough rating mood in the fall. Wow. Comment below, do you ever get that where you like look back and you see that like at some points you were super lenient with your ratings, and then some points you were super strict, and it could literally fluctuate month from month. But damn, I can't believe that none of these are getting 5 stars. This is a 5-star series, by the way. Queen of Shadows. Loved it. Perfection. Obviously not. I knocked it 0.25, but pretty damn close to perfection if you ask me now. So, I don't know. Next, I did something that I highly recommend everyone do. And I did a tandem read. Remember, I did a tandem read of Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. These two books are set in the same time, but Empire of Storms is following half of our characters, and Tower of Dawn is following the second half. I think that reading it as a tandem increased my reading experience so much. The fact that Tower of Dawn got 5 stars, and Empire Storms got 4.5. So maybe I was just in a tough reading mood, tough rating mood, but apparently I wasn't liking giving out any 5 stars in the fall. Happy to say that has all changed with Kingdom of Ash, which absolutely gets 5 stars. And now I need to talk about different scenes. Okay, I have a list. Look, I even came prepared for a video for once. Can you believe it? Okay, so let's begin. First of all, this is what we're discussing. I'm gonna put it down because I'm gonna be moving my hands a lot. Sorry. It just has to be. Now, Elain getting captured by Maeve. By the Valg Queen herself. Crazy. And then being tortured. Oh my god. Her escaping as the Fae males, the boys, were going to rescue her. That they were going to rescue her. Phenomenal timing. Absolutely insane. Aline seeing Rowan in his eagle hawk flying, soaring in the air above her through just the mask. My heart was breaking. And her just saying like, take it off, take it off, take it off, because of the amount of pain and everything that she was in and all of the mental. Elain is so strong. Can we discuss that? Literally, like, Celaena or Elain, whoever you look at, they are so much the same. Obviously, they're the same person, but they are so much the same. They both exude so much respect, so much courage, so much strength, so much power, that I respected and loved both of them. I loved them both together. I loved them both separately. No matter who Elain was at each moment of her journey through this story, because truly this story is her journey. It's the story of an assassin finding herself again and coming to terms with who she really is. And it is a beautiful, brilliant story. Now, we have a lot of characters reuniting in this book. Probably some of my favorite reunions. Dorian and Chow. Oh my god. But before them, Elain and Chow. First of all, Dorian, Chow, and Elain having this like weird love triangle. I'm so glad that they all found their person. And truly just like went away from that whole love triangle and just were there for each other. And their friendship was so powerful that honestly I don't really see how any of them were ever like dating. Like, I understand like just in the moment, whatever, but they truly just found their people. And Elain seeing Chow was such an incredible moment. And then Chow seeing Dorian, just seeing his king, and every time Chow got to introduce Yrene as Yrene Towers Westfall, and just the pride that he had describing her and introducing her, you just saw. And watching Chow's experience from being this cocky, strong, untouchable guard, commander of the guards, who no matter what would follow his kingdom blindly, literally blindly, and then seeing him come to terms with what's actually going on and rebelling, to then not being able to walk, being paralyzed, and watching his journey then to overcome that and understand that strength is not just physical, and also that he is capable of things, even if it's not everything that he once was. You can make accommodations, and you can still you can still do things, you can still do everything. It's just in a different light. And watching him go through that, I know Chow is not everyone's favorite character, but I think that his journey, also remember, he's only about like 22, 23. I'm 23. He went through an incredible journey of understanding and of enlightenment at such a young age. So, I have a complaint. um, in my Throne of Glass tier ranking video, which I will link, I talked about how I do not like Adian, and I know that is a controversial, very hot take, but I feel like, Elaine has survived so much. She has survived the salt mines, she has survived the King's Championship, she survived Arobin, she survived heartbreak and loss, and she has survived so much. And she is always 10 steps ahead of everyone. She always has a plan. She always is thinking ahead and figuring out what's going on and what she needs to do, mostly to protect her people. Everything that she's done with Terrasen in mind. Even when she was being, even when she, as people can very easily say, was being selfish or things like that, I truly believe that she still was thinking about her people and thinking about what she could do for them. So the fact that everyone still thought she was so naive at so many times is insane to me. Everyone always questioned her, and no matter how much she proved that they don't need to question her, that she knows what she's doing, they just constantly second guessed her and constantly kind of put a barrier on her. I don't know if it was because she was young, and she is, but she's so powerful and she's gone through so much that so many people have not, that I don't really understand. And one thing that really bothered me about Adian is that he even like claimed that no one is coming. You have no allies. Like, you pretty much are no one. But that wasn't the case. And that one moment really is what like sticks out to me when I think of Adian, and it really bothers me, and that's where he really like knocked down in terms of my ratings for him. And I really just don't think that he really really had a redemption in my eyes. I understand like the book, made him have a redemption, but I don't really see it in my eyes. I think Lysindra could do so much better. Lysindra and Elaine reuniting on the battlefield was absolutely brilliant and perfect and beautiful. And Lysindra is a perfect, beautiful human being, shapeshifter, leopard, whatever she wants to be. I think of it as this way. So Lysindra and Elaine literally were pitted against each other their entire like teenagehood. The assassin versus what are we gonna call her? The assassin versus the escort, and they were always deemed as having to fight for attention and all this stuff. But when you boil it down, they were both trying to survive their situations. Neither of them asked to be put in that situation. And they were both just trying to do their best to survive. So the fact that they were able to come together and resolve that and realize that neither of them say like were the bully amongst each other. They were both the victims. And the fact that they were able to put everything in their past behind them and come together and then form this amazing friendship is extremely powerful. And I think it shows so much about and I think so many times women get pitted against each other, especially growing up and especially like during puberty and things like that. But I think that if we just had a different perspective and realized that a lot of times we're all just trying to survive, we're all just trying to figure out what's going on and figure out what we can do, that people would have a lot different opinions, and we would see that we're not actually really that different, and that's why women need to support each other. And I think this book did an amazing job at showcasing that, especially at the end when when Elaine gets crowned Queen of Terrasen, finally, after so many books, after so much heartache, after so much just trying to convince these old men that she is the rightful heir. When she goes to parade in before her townspeople, she grabs all of the women who helped her get there. Ansel and Urine, Lysindra, Nesrin, Elaine. So all of the women that got her to where she is, she grabbed for them first, and she paraded with them. And I think that was just such a beautiful moment of empowering, and really just showed that Elaine's story and Elaine's connection to everyone was described as a thread in a tapestry. And I think that is a perfect way to sum up this book series. That every moment matters. Every person she meets and connects with matters. And it's all just one huge thing being weaved together. But every single connection, every single person is a single thread. And when you look at one story, for example, when you look at just Assassin's Blade for one short story, it doesn't really seem to matter. But when you step back and you look at the whole picture, it's so important and it shows so much everything. um it's brilliant, and I love this series so much. There's so much I could say. Manon and the 13, watching the Sacrifice of the 13, reading the Sacrifice of the 13, I should say, was so hard. I thought that Abraxas was gonna die. I literally stopped reading that night because I wanted to keep him alive for one more day. But he did live, but the rest of the 13 sacrificed themselves and showed that the Iron Teeth are not darkness, they're light. They're pure, pure light, just like the Crocians, just like anyone, because you get to choose who you are. You are either, you're taught about good and bad. You're taught. It was just such a moment of like nature versus nurture, where the Iron Teeth, are they evil because they're taught to be evil, or are they actually evil? And obviously not everyone's going to learn from that, and I think I think Sarah J Maas did a really great job of showing some of the Iron Teeth joining the Crocians and breaking away and rebelling, whereas not all of them did, because realistically not all of them are going to. Overall, I just I just think this book series is so well done and has so many more layers than you would think from just a fantasy series. I mean, if you really boil it down, you're starting this book and it's an assassin. It's an assassin fighting for her life and fighting to be a king's championship. But we go so much further than that and so much deeper, and I never thought that when I started this series that this is where we were going to end up, but I truly could not have enjoyed this experience more. And I just love this book series so much, and I just hope and wish that everyone gets to experience this in some way. And even if it's not for this series, just the feeling that you get from this series is just absolutely incredible, and I love it so much. So without further ado, I am going to stop yapping about this book, even though I definitely want to keep talking about it. Comment down below some of your favorite moments, and I would love to start a conversation about just the series. I need people who have read it, who I can just fangirl over, because I have so many thoughts and so many feelings about this book, and that I'm just not okay. So please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of those YouTube things, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.